Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Welcome to a new week. So this is Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, November 13th, 2023. This is where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, the XRP price chart, the altcoin market, and take a look over there at the stock market as it gets set to open in 2 minutes from right now. Of course, we'll take a look over there at the US dollar currency index, precious metals, any type of financial news or any type of crypto news as we get ready to kick off our day today. A little bit of a mixed day over here in the crypto market. It's just been a continuation of absolute volatility here in the altcoin market. Really good weekend throughout the weekend. We saw lots of green. It has been a very nice, very nice little stretch that we've had here in the cryptocurrency market lately. As we get ready for the stock market to open this morning, it will be a little bit of a mix over there. It looks like we do have the indexes down slightly. You've got the Nasdaq down 63 points, whereas on Friday it closed up 341. Killer Friday. The S&P looks like it's going to open down about 15 points after closing up 67 points on Friday, and the Dow Jones will be down 76 points as we open, and it closed Friday up 391. So killer days there to close out the end of last week. Crypto, Bitcoin still just sitting flat, but it's really been that altcoin market that has been on the move throughout the weekend, with total 3 still continuing to climb over here. I haven't even checked on others. I'm sure others has been continuing to rise too. Yeah, others just continued marching throughout the weekend. Total 3 throughout the weekend, closing above the highest levels we've seen dating back to the FTX collapse, and having the highest closes that we've had since August of 2022 over here on total 3. So you can see right here, there you go. There you go. Those closes happening there above that range. So now seeing if we're going to stall out a little bit or get some more momentum in here. It has just been a rock and roll adventure here in crypto, though. Bitcoin sitting up there at $36,800, still continuing its march. Unanswered questions regarding if we're doing 2020, if we're doing 2016 or whatnot. But either way, the altcoin market has been moving, which has been a sign usually reserved for retraces, right? Whenever you see the altcoin market really moving. That's been my theory for the last couple of years. Of course, we still have a long ways to go to determine whether or not that is true or not, but we'll let the picture paint itself for us and then try to assess it at the time as it comes. We have seen a lot of altcoins take big pops up. One of those has been like Chainlink. I've seen this in a lot of different assets. I've seen this in things like, we've seen this in Bitcoin Cash. We've seen it in Status, 0x. What else? Several others. That this area, this April of 2022 area, has been the halting point for a lot of assets. So as we see this right here, I think really what I'd like to see in this market is to see something finally be able to just like crush through there. You got stuff like Tron that has just kind of like gradually creeped through it. Tron's like not reacted to the whole market, so it's almost just not the same setup as the market. But I'm looking to see stuff finally start like getting through here. And I'm not talking about some obscure coin that has moved from rank 320 up to rank number 72 or something like that. I'd like to see something in like the top 20 or top 30 finally be able to crack through these April levels, because this has definitely been the struggle point for a lot of assets. And that's just kind of what we're waiting on to see if we're going to get more juice out of these, if we're going to see rotations. You're going to see other stuff start to catch up. There's stuff that's still, lagging behind those levels. There's a lot still lagging behind those levels to get all the way up here. You've seen Chainlink be one of those leaders, along with Solana be a leader in there. So, keep your eyes out for that. This was the area of expectation over here for Chainlink. Anything more than this would be a surprise right now without some type of pullback. I would expect pullback to happen in here. If we go higher, it would actually be a surprise. So keep your eyes over there on stuff like that. As for the dominances in here, this is still just creeping along as expected. We've been seeing altcoins rocking in here, right? This has been the discussion for the last 4 or 5 months. It's been playing along just nicely. Finally, once we had our first step down, that has been the big moves happening over there in the altcoin market. The expectation is still just kind of a little bit of sideways drift, and then another probably push there in the altcoin market as we get another fall. After the next push in the altcoin market, whether even Chainlink gets another one, or if it's really just the rest of the market being able to finally catch up to these levels, it will start to become a little bit more of a blurry picture, not in regards to like being blurry, but like in regards to, hey, look, we've kind of started to get a little bit exhausted now. Are we finally going to get a correction? If you've never been in any type, like, we're not even going to call this a bull run. We're just talking about bull runs. If you've ever been in a bull run, if an asset goes up 4,500% along the way, there are multiple 50, 60, 70% corrections that do end up happening. They always do. So to have these straight lines up are fun. They're exciting. They're euphoric. Dopamine's rushing through your brain and through your body, and you're just looking at your portfolio, watching it rise, and boom, in a blink of an eye, 20, 30% of it is gone. Those do happen, and they should be expected to happen. So, as long as we just kind of continue following along with that, we would reach an area where it would be like, hey, look, what would the play mean in here? That's the things that have been running through my head. If we continue drifting, right, it's like, the big show-stopping event is still the remainder of the altcoin market for another leg down here in the dominance. But after that, then we start seeing USDT, USDC, Bitcoin, and Ethereum rise. Dominances start to rise gradually together. Whether that means that altcoin profits are rolled back into Bitcoin and Ethereum, or does it mean that we have a market drawdown in the market because something's finally going to come for the United States stock market, right? During that time back then, this is where we had C19. This happened right here in March. This was C19. So, questions of whether or not, for me, I'm very diversified in altcoins right now. But going through that thought exercise at this point, like, we're not there yet, but when that comes, what will be my thoughts on it? And says, what that says is, it says the stronger aspect of the market, right? And these moves down, these mean the remainder of the altcoin market are stronger than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. And I think we've really seen that because we've seen a lot of altcoins really push, and you've seen Ethereum just still kind of be stuck here, but you've seen a lot of stuff really get big pushes up in there, whereas percentage-wise, not a whole lot for Ethereum, definitely not a whole lot for Bitcoin. Percentage-wise, has been stuck in here. This is about a 7% move that has happened in here for Bitcoin, so the altcoins have just been really outperforming Bitcoin. But if we got back into this move, it becomes the question of, all right, does this mean everything goes down and the altcoin markets go down harder in a pull down like that and a move back up in dominance? Or does it mean that altcoins are selling off back into Bitcoin and into Ethereum? That's going to be the difficult decision. So for me, likely, a lot of these assets, I essentially doubled the size of my portfolio when we were down there in FTX crashes and Luna stuff and this last year and a half, essentially doubled the size of my portfolio, and taking a lot of it back during this moment. And the question is, does that get shuffled back into Bitcoin? Does it get shuffled back into Ethereum? Does it kind of sit on the sideline just for a minute here to get a better assessment of the market? Because that's what this doesn't tell us. This doesn't tell us Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to go up and outperform the altcoin market. It just means they would outperform the altcoin market. Does that mean the altcoin market falls hard and Bitcoin and Ethereum fall with it? Right? Any of those things could matter. It just means and so the challenge with that included in there is that USDT and USDC are also included in here too. So does that mean the money is being flocked into USDT and USDC? It's possible. So, those will be the thoughts coming up. So don't be surprised on further moves. I'm like, hey, look, these things are in here. I'm moving stuff into cash, or I'm moving stuff into Ethereum. I'm moving stuff into Bitcoin. Don't be surprised to hear me say those things, because they will be coming once another leg down happens. My guess is really about this level down here at about 76.5% for the safety trade dominance, which is Bitcoin plus Ethereum plus USDT plus USDC. Like I said, the safety trade topped. So I think we can officially see that now. Your June, so 5 months since the safety trade has come to a conclusion. That's what we called it back then. Safety trade is officially done. Obviously, the market has been saying that. The altcoin market, total 2, bottomed in June of 2022. The bottom has been in. XRP's bottom, Ethereum's bottom, everybody's bottom has been in. It was a long year and a half of fighting. But what has happened now, of course, is everybody's going to be piling back in thinking the bull run is just starting. Right? But we've obviously been in here for some time knowing that actually, guys, you're a little late to be saying it's just starting. We've been in here the whole time. So as we get back up, this visually, it becomes much more acceptable to say the bull run is just starting. But really what we're getting up to now is we're getting up into those retracements, right? And so this is that April level here for Bitcoin. This is also where we are seeing a lot of the altcoins really struggle at currently right now. So a lot of eyes are currently on Bitcoin right now, including mine. Just watching, waiting for some type of significant move to happen. Nothing is happening currently right now to issue any type of significance. Even if it pulled back, right? I mean, you could argue that, yeah, we got above that fib, of the range. But the reality is still structurally, it's still, potentially another higher high, now looking for another higher low. Which could, dip back down into the 34s, 35s again. Acceptable for a higher low to go as low as 34,500 and still be a higher low and be okay. So we're still just kind of in a waiting game over here when it comes to Bitcoin. But definitely seeing a lot of action over there in the altcoin market, which has been great. All right, moving along. Bitcoin, 36,800. Dominances, talked about that. Look, probably paused here for a minute, and then another leg of excitement coming for the altcoin market within the next couple of weeks is what my thoughts are. Chainlink, again, that is one of the ones that has gotten away ahead of time. Every coin that we see doing this, and we can talk about XRP on that too. If you eliminated what is happening here from the lawsuit that happened in here, of course, you have XRP in that same level. Where is it? April of 2022. Kill all the narratives, kill all the flip the switches, all the monies, all the storylines of XRP being its own, something is going to cause it to go. It's still to this day moves with the rest of the market, and it too is there in that April of 2022 price level, stalling out there and showing nothing of excitement as of yet. Still just a pause, and definitely keeping up with the market. All those people screaming, why isn't XRP doing anything? It is up, over it got up like 150% off the lows. And it is definitely keeping on track with the market, but the rest of the market is not taking out the 2021 highs. The rest of the market is not taking out September or November of 2021 highs currently right now. The market is finding struggling points right here at April of 2022, even for our leaders, which you could see here, Chainlink being a leader, right? Where is it? April of 2022. You could argue that XRP was even a leader, getting there to April of 2022, and still no signs yet of us doing anything significant, just still waiting and waiting and waiting. All right, moving along. Stock market. As the stock market gets opened up a little bit, looks like, yeah, a little bit better than pre-market in some, but a little bit worse than others. You got the Dow Jones down 30 points in pre-market, which is 0.1%. The S&P down 19 points, which is 0.43%, and the Nasdaq down 98 points, which is 0.63%. Leaders this morning are Caterpillar and GE and Netflix. Losers this morning are Coinbase, Roblox, and Amazon over there. All yields are up slightly this morning. Precious metals are down. Let's take a look. You got the dollar trying to get back to 106 again. So 106, we just keep dancing around that level. This is that level that just keep kinds of being the scary level or the euphoria level, and we just keep going back and forth on it right here, right now. So kind of at a pivotal place to say, can we get a nice rejection off that 106 and bring some euphoria to the markets, or do we get through it and go ahead and scare the markets again? As for gold just pulling back after the retracement levels, a massive surge right back to the top of them. That was one of the biggest moves we've seen in gold in quite some time. Boom, right back down. So this is a positive sign for equities that gold is pulling back down. And of course, as gold is pulling down, what have we seen last week? Like we just talked about, you saw massive rises over there to finish out the week, over 2% to the upside over there for the Nasdaq. The even the NASDAQ 100 technology sector ended Friday up 3.21%. Huge day. So this is going to conclude what happened there last Friday. It had a nice hold on this level, right? These are the things that we've talked about, this particular level before liquidations can start happening. That's a good sign for it, but it's going to pull back this morning because this is 15 minutes delayed. We won't see this data actually updated here for 3 more minutes on the NDXT. Likely in line there with the NASDAQ down about 0.64%, a little bit of a pullback happening in here. So right now, kind of waiting, like obviously big moves over there in the stock market, but the things of it are that they're not really breakouts, right? We've been in a downtrend in the stock market since July, getting down here to October, bouncing back into retracement levels. Now time to see if this thing can get more. Everybody gets real excited when we see prices go up. It doesn't mean it's not still a retrace, so still a wait over there on the stock market. As for crypto, it looks like a little bit of a pullback happening now as the stock market is open. Bitcoin 36,700, Ethereum 2050, XRP 64.4. And you got some green still over here as we get the day kicked off. So there you go, guys. Wouldn't doubt it if there's still more just drifting happening in here for Bitcoin. As for the dominance, the story was the same a couple of weeks over here, sideways in here before another leg down. And then Chainlink, you've seen this, any of these assets that you're seeing at these levels right here, just know this has been the challenge for almost everything here back at these April of 2022 levels. And many of them have pulled, the ones that were way ahead of the pack, such as like Bitcoin Cash, right? You've seen them all pull back down in here. You've seen Status get up in here, boom, it pulls back. You've seen 0x has gotten up in here too. This has been the challenge level for all of these assets. So keep your eyes peeled there. All right, a little bit of a turnaround there for Dow. There you go, still working on DXY. This will probably be a story today, whether or not DXY gets a break or a breakdown. It might end up coming today. All right, there you go, stock market. There you go. Total 3. So we'll see if total 3 is just having a back test day on top of that breakout. We'll keep our eyes on that and check in on that again tomorrow. Otherwise, that kind of gives you an idea of how the day went. The weekend was very nice for the altcoin market. As you can see, as the stock market gets set to open today, as it is open today, we're seeing a little bit of red pulling back in here. We'll see if we end up seeing a successful type of back test happening in here for the altcoin market. If there's more to it, we'll find out likely by tomorrow. All right, looking over here at the stock market. Breaking. Stocks fall to start the week after Moody's cuts the U.S. outlook. Consumer spending fell in October, according to new CNBC NRF retail monitor tracking card transactions. Exxon aims to become a top lithium producer. Pfizer wants in on the weight loss drug market. All right, looking over here at Bloomberg, the stakes for Biden and Xi summit as two rivals face off. China's consumption recovery is losing momentum. Biden Xi summit set to highlight economic dependence, and China weighs ending freeze on Boeing with 737 MAX deal in U.S. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley diverge on Fed rate cut forecasts. Health insurance is about to boost U.S. inflation. October CPI data will reflect new calculations in the category. All right, Google sues scammers over fake Bard. Okay. CoinDesk, more FTX. Boy, they love talking about FTX. Bitcoin rallies over 100% year to date. Hacker steals 27 million in Tether from wallet linked to Binance. There you go. Stablecoin firm Tether minted 4 billion USDT in 4 weeks. Yeah, let me pull that chart up really quick because we have looked at that on here. This has been something we've observed, of course, over here. We have seen, get on the 1-day chart. There you go. Tether going crazy, right? So there's only been 2 times where we've seen these big drawdowns in Tether. They've been moments prior to capitulation or during capitulation. This is in October and November of 2018 when we capitulated at the end of the cryptocurrency market. And then we have it over here in May and in June of 2022, right? Both times, both are the capitulations, and all of our market data indicates that May and June were the capitulation of the market. We know in June you had Ethereum, and I'm not going to name off Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, all these things bottomed there in June. You had Bitcoin go set a slight lower level on the FTX collapse. But this was the bottom of the altcoin market, even total 2. That's the bottom of it right there in June. And so now we've seen recovery, and then now we've seen Tether printing returning. Hip, hip, hooray. There's always conflict on Tether, whatever. I don't care. I've read my emotional log from May of 2019. In May of 2019, I'm sitting there saying, Tether FUD's at it again. If you've been here for years, they always do this. I'm certain if we have another fall, it's going to be Tether related and something going on. May of 2019. And that's over here. Let's go. That's right here. And then we just go, right? And the market rips. So this was a very exciting time for the market at that time. And that's, Tether printing wise, what we're seeing happening right now. We're finally getting out of the May of 2022 collapse. And then now Tether printing has been back in full force. Funding rates echo 69K Bitcoin price. 5 things to know. So the funding rates are getting up there, and oversold tendencies or overbought tendencies for Bitcoin and indicators for Bitcoin. This goes back to a lot of discussions of this April level has been a very serious problem for a lot of the cryptocurrency market. I've shown you guys the examples of Ethereum. When Ethereum rolled over and went and set new lows, if Bitcoin was following that, this was the level it stalled at. We are there. And I was looking at, let's pull this up. I was looking at Glassnode. Right, I'm not an on-chain guy. I look at very, very little on-chain. Sorry, I'm pulling it up on another screen. I'm going to copy it and post it over here. There we go. Let's grab that. All right, so these are the addresses with greater than 10 Bitcoin in them. And what you see here is the orange is the number of addresses that have at least 10 Bitcoin in their wallet. And you can clearly see the distribution of these whales as we get here into the peak, right? They start selling off and selling off and selling off. Big dip, they buy some, then it gets up here, then they distribute hardcore. They say, nope, we're not touching it. It collapses, right? Then there's the bottom we keep talking about there. Everything data-wise indicates this as being the bottom. The whales start coming back in. They accumulate all throughout the bottom, all while retail investors are screaming, we're going to 12K, you know nothing. The whales said, yeah, right. Then price breaks up. Retail investors capitulate on the 12K idea, right? So that has officially crossed a level where you reach a new sentiment level, right, in the market. And the 12Kers have been made out to be wrong. And what is happening here? We see the 10K wallets moving down. Will that trend continue? Don't know. But you could see it yourself. That's the first time they've made that big of a dip in the whole ride up. Right in here, they've started dipping. Now go back and look. I mean, before the peak came in, they were in massive distribution. Right, by the time we actually hit the literal peak, look where they were, way up there. But this is something we'll keep an eye on, right? Because that's a change in behavior on the 10 Bitcoin at least 10 Bitcoin in their wallets. What they're doing. And that's not this, right? That's not massive accumulation. That's not continued accumulation. That's some distribution. You see that kind of stuff happen in here, right? That's not crazy to see that happen in here, but that is the first time we've seen that throughout here. So if we see more continuation of that happening in here, then we'll definitely be paying attention to it to see if that gives us an indicator of, hey, look, Last time these guys were like leading the way and seriously distributing on the market, what was it? The top. So if this continues, then what are they doing? If this continues, they're not selling on a break of a new all-time high, right? Because that's what they were doing here. This is the break of the new all-time high for Bitcoin right here. This is where it goes and breaks above 20K, and they start distributing on the break of the all-time high. If they are starting now, then what are they doing? They're distributing into the retrace, which means the whole thing was a retrace. So we'll keep an eye on it, but that's also what I was looking for and what I was expecting. One dip doesn't mean anything. We would want to see something like that to say, holy guacamole, these guys are full blown distributing, right? So keep our eyes on that. Okay. What else we got? So, all right. So Bitcoin still continuing, but remember that stuff. April of 2022 stuff has been the resistance level for a lot of these altcoins. You got stuff that's surging up to those areas. Caution at those levels, just because everything has stopped there. Bitcoin dominance is still waiting for. I still believe there's going to be another move in here before it stalls out, and that will be kind of the end of our quick surge off the lows happening in there. We'll probably stall for a little while. See if the stock market then gets real wobbly during that time period. Is there a chance that maybe what we've done is we've just gone ahead and priced in a stock market crash like we did in 2020? That's what we were doing in here. This was a big rally in the cryptocurrency market as the dominance was falling. And then as C19 came and the stock market crash came, the market had enough room left in it to wham, slam right back into the lows and back test without breaking itself into new lows. So keeping that in mind with what we have going on in the stock market and where we currently are right now, that's always possible. But there you go. As for total 3, we'll see if we can hold this thing today with a back test day. Looks like we may have a back test day. How was Monday last week? Monday last week was good, right? That was when we had XRP hitting like 71, 72 cents. But then we had Tuesday was like our pullback day, right? We are so spoiled. Since the 28th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Not counting today. Only 2 out of the previous 16 days were pullback days. So here we are, day 3 out of the last 17. We are in a pullback day. Now we'll see if that's all it is, if this is just a quick little back test. There we go. As for news, I think we got news covered pretty good. But yeah, so funding rates echoing 69K Bitcoin price, right? That means that's what, people who are margin longing, degen longing Bitcoin on margin are doing it. The funding rate is the same as it was at the peak of the height. It's expensive to margin long. I don't think we have euphoria in the market today, judging by the number of people in here. We're at our normal numbers. But if we ever had like a crazy number in here, of course, we'd watch out for that because we just saw it last week. 4,000 people means watch out. All right. 3 theses that will drive Ethereum and Bitcoin in the next bull run. I don't believe any of that. Right. I mean, come on. If any of these narratives mattered, then people would have bought Solana at $13. If any of these things mattered, people would have bought lower. People just need narratives. They need a story. They need something. And these things we aren't going to even entertain it. Ethereum, still waiting to see if it can get its a sign of strength breakout. It's up into the sign of strength phase. You can see all phases of last point of support have happened with ABC. You even see just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breaks up. Pulls back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got all the little markers in here, little breaks, right? And then boom, right back to sign of strength. Now working out the preliminary support level. That's where we are with Ethereum right now. Ethereum still waiting for its chance to go in for the breakout, which is, of course, is this. So I'm curious, will we see actually altcoins move one more time before Ethereum gets that chance? But then, of course, with Ethereum as well, it's going to have its own questions to answer as well as it gets back into the April levels too. And those April levels are going to be up there from 2,700 to 3,400. Pretty big area in there for Ethereum. We'll see if there's any fib levels that reside right there in the middle of that. You got this one right here at 38.44. You may want to take a look at the market caps. I don't have market caps open up in front of me. It'll be very similar. It's because of over the last year, it's had a deflationary rate of about negative 0.3%. So it should be about the same for Ethereum. All right, there you go. DXY, there you go. Stalled a little bit. How's the stock market? Down 40 points. NASDAQ 113. There you go. Most of this market has flipped red over here with Caterpillar and Tesla leading the way. And you got Coinbase, Roblox, and ARK down here on the lower end. Yields pretty flat, but the long durations are up slightly. Looking over at metals still down. Gold, US dollar 105.86. So again, under that 106 level, we'll keep our eyes on over there on that. Oil, we don't talk about oil too much, but boy, and gasoline, but we do occasionally. So it is still just sitting down there on supports. Is it going to bounce? Is it going to rock its way out of here? We're going to find out. I'm sure everybody, if you're looking at your gas stations, you're seeing very, very cheap prices. I would suspect what you're paying now at the gas pump is either the lowest you are going to pay for quite some time, or we see a plunge in prices come very soon. So whatever you go, next time you go fill up your tank, look at that price and say, all right, either I'll never see these prices again for a long time. Either way, I don't think you'll see those prices again for a long time. Either we're going to bounce away from here violently or break down from here violently. It's a very interesting level for us to currently be at, just from a range perspective here for oil. Of course, this has a lot to do with inflation, right? What are you paying for gasoline, right? So this is gasoline futures. What are you paying for gas? All right, there you go. Back test day over here in crypto. Looks like a little bit of wobbliness right out the gates once the stock market opened, but it looks like it's holding itself up okay. Bitcoin back to 36.8. So, all right. And then we got all of our news covered. And we hit XRP. There's nothing going on with XRP. It's just keeping up with the market. It's right as April of 2022 price levels. So, all right, we'll keep it light, tight, and bright here on a Monday after 30 minutes of rambling. We'll do our best to actually keep this thing under 1 hour today. Famous last words by BCB. Chris DeLeon says, thanks, BCB, for everything. One, please do fibs on XRP, reviewing Bitcoin course, and planning exit strategies. My numbers are different than yours. I don't know what your question is. I don't know how in-depth that's going to be for 2,300 people. Chris DeLeon. I don't know what you're wanting me to, like, that's a really long number one that had 4 points to number one. Number two says, when are members only live streams scheduled? Hit the like. They're not really scheduled. I do them about once a month. We did 2 last month. I think the last one was like a week and a half ago. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. So I don't know. I don't have one planned yet. It'll probably be in about a week or so from right now. As for going through all of XRP stuff, fibs, we do that so often here in the chat on Markets in the Morning. I don't know if we're going to have a long XRP segment today. And I'm not really sure what your question is. It's almost like, do a full analysis of XRP. Do a full XRP video right now. Please do fibs on XRP. Okay, I mean, I could just throw them on. There you go. Right. Problem with this is that, this is 1363. That's if there was no inflation. You're at 6 years of inflation. That actually, if you go based on the market caps, at 976. So yeah. But I'm not sure, Chris. Chris, I know you're here all the time, man. You're a big supporter of the channel, brother. I'm just not sure how to answer that, or with 2,300 people in here to go through that, brother. But thank you for the support. Jonas Fugalis gifted a BCB membership. Jonas, thank you very much, brother. Same with Michael J. Love. He gives one right out the gates, too. This is pre-stream even starting. These are my early crew guys who sit here waiting in anticipation for it to fire up. Thank you, guys. Kevin Smith, love that you're scheduling videos now. Scheduling the live streams. That's cool. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, today it was like 10 minutes until the stream was supposed to start, and I realized I didn't start the schedule. And I was just like, oh, no. But yeah, I've been trying to do that. It seems you guys like it, so we'll keep it up. Crypto Student 99 gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much, Crypto Student. CB, member for 6 months. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Supposedly it's free and super simple. It is super simple. So if you're looking at your phone and you have the chat scrolling by in front of you while you're watching this video, all you do is you X the chat out, then you just hit the like button, and then you just hit that live chat button again, and boom, you're right back to where you were. But you helped me out tremendously with a like on the video, and I appreciate that. Sick Thinker gifted 5 BCB memberships. Sick Thinker, thank you very much, my man. 702 Crew, thank you, bro. Robert Barker, hi BCB. Do you know anything about X Infinity? Developer data is positive. What are your thoughts on the chart? Thanks, Greg. I don't know anything. So if I pulled the chart up right now, I'd be just going on a whim. I don't follow it. I don't see it in my developer data stuff ever when I'm going through stuff. Let me look. No, they have 3 full-time developers and only 14 total developers. And they're down developers over the last they're down 1 developer over the last 6 months. So there's like, it's like dead. Let's take a look at, yeah, it's like dead. There's your commits. Devs, 3. Like even one time, there's no developers. Nobody works on it. Like you don't like this, literally this is as low as you can go. How many, like very, 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 very few. I mean, I'd put it in, I can do this. Small starters. Of just even the number of developers that are over there on Electric Capital, it puts it in the bottom 10% of total devs. It's almost non-existent. So to have 3 developers on it, for example, like even Zcash has 22 devs. IOTA has 29 full-time devs. EOS has 33 full-time devs. Algorand, which we've talked about being down 56% in total devs year over year, still they have 37 full-time devs. So they have 3. And then, and then of course, talk about like Ethereum with 1,848 devs, Polkadot with 600, Cosmos with 459, and Bitcoin with 339. When we're talking 3, it's like a couple of dudes in a garage. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, man. Not sure what developer data you're seeing that is positive. But thank you, Robert. Jay Wiles, NDXT over silver, wicking back through 702. Bullish. Also, can you show Ethereum wallet accumulation or distribution like you just did on Bitcoin? I did. I looked at it this morning. I'm not sure I could have seen as much of a confluence there, but I've also not gone through it to say which one matters the most. Ethereum, it's slight downtrending, but it also does that. Let me see if I can. But it's also done that before. So I don't know if it's the same for Ethereum as it is for, so like an equivalent amount. Let's go to here. Like, I just don't think it has the same behavior as we saw with Bitcoin. So like here's ETH. But notice here, like it's like in a slight drift, right? But notice it's in a slight drift even in here, and this is when the price is still like below $400, right? Then it goes to almost 5,000, right? So this is major distribution happening in here, right? So this is it getting back to its all-time high in major distribution. I don't think we're seeing major distribution. And so this is wallets with at least 100 Ethereum, so it's going to be $200,000, right? Wallets with at least 10 Bitcoin, what is that? It's going to be $37,000 or $370,000. So this is kind of as close as we can get to the 10 Bitcoin wallets by looking at addresses with 100 Ethereum. I don't think we see that. And also, even in the distribution phase of 2021, or no, in 2018 and 2017, look, this wasn't a good tool to use here, right? So I tried looking at it. I'm like, oh, wait, there's a drift there. But at the same time, that drift has been going on since the bottom. And even that drift happened here, and then it still went out, and then there was no reaction here. So for me in particular, I find the data, there's not enough significant consistency in it to say you can draw any conclusion from that whatsoever on Ethereum. NDXT over silver. I'm probably not going to do that one because I wouldn't feel confident thinking there's any correlation in there on short-term time frame stuff for the tech sector versus silver. I personally won't be watching that. I just found it interesting, like when you look at the DGI versus silver in regards to the long-term chart, that it's very suspect that our bubble popped in the stock market in 2000, in 2001, right? When, big rampaging run, but based on, our old money, our pre-1965 money, we have not gone into a massive bull run. This has been a money printed bull run. This has been an inflationary devaluation of currency to create this asset bubble. But if you had just held on to your silver and held on to your money since 2000 and not participated in the market since 2000, you've outperformed the stock market. Crazy, right? I wonder what NASDAQ looks like. NASDAQ almost at 786. So it's into retracement levels. So if you just held on to your silvers, you have outperformed. Not in the last 12 years. The stock market has done better than silver in the last 12 years, but over the course of the last 23 years, it's been a better performer, but not for the last 12. You would have wanted to bail out here. But now the question is, now that it's back in these retraces, is silver the play? Will the stock market crash, retrace? Then what? What comes next? Reaccumulation, right? And then when we're old and gray and we're ready to die, all of our money goes flying to the upside, and then we just give it all to our kids and we never get to play with any of it. We'll see. Thank you for your 3 months, Jay Wiles. Dilkansky says, thanks for your commitment and dedication, BCB. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate the kind words, man. Dilkansky, big supporter. Jonathan Neka, Nasia is what I'm going to guess. Hey, BCB, definitely, absolutely love your content. Longtime follower. Have you tried looking at total over silver akin to DGI over silver? Is it worth paying attention to? Reactions at the retraces do seem much more cleaner to me. I personally, okay, we'll entertain it, but I'm not going to say there's any reason to look at it. When we're a little further there, why don't we do the market cap? Oh, this is the market cap. So, I don't know. Crypto looks good though, right? Look at it go. We're going to 12K for a year and a freaking half, man. My God. We made it, boys and girls. Boy, we dealt with a lot of whiny babies for a year and a half. Okay. You guys did it. If you made it through that and you kept your emotional log, I hope you learned a life lesson. It is more than just managing your emotions in markets. It is about life in general. Persevering. Tough times don't last. Fight through it. Your story is not written for failure. Your story is written for success. You just have to believe in it. I keep religion out of this mostly, but I keep my faith in God. That God is not going to write my story in a really crappy way. And I keep moving forward. All right. JB Heavy Equipment Services. Member for 6 months. Thank you, brother. Everyone, smash that like button. BCB, you think we have entered the August 5 through 14th XRP range? August 5th through 14th XRP range. Not sure what that means. Do I think we go into this range? It seems reasonable. I mean, like, we talked about this a lot last week. If this is a Wyckoff accumulation, like, just be totally, like, just legit with yourself, right? Ignore this. Pretend it's not there, right? Just pretend that's not there. All it did was just go with the market, right? What would it be? Right? It would be a breakout, right? Is it reasonable to backtest in here? Totally reasonable. But you have so many different scenarios you can go with, like so many. And the reality is this is going to go with the market, whatever way the market goes. If the market's going to pull back here, guess what? XRP is too. Hate it or love it. Don't like it. Thumbs down the video. I don't care. It's the reality of life. It is not going to be the narratives and the secret hidden riddles that you're finding. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to be what the market is going to end up doing and where XRP is probably, if XRP is going to move up with it. Right now, the market is really struggling at this level. A lot of them are. We can start seeing signs of these things getting out of here, and maybe XRP would be the first one to lead the way and do it. XRP was leading this. Like, people don't realize that this is leading. Like, look how far off the lows you are. The lows are 29 cents from back in 2022. We're leading. We're leading here. But we have a level that we have to get through in here. But even though this is a accumulation range, this would be a fake out, right? This is entirely news induced. The whole market just drifted through here. If we continue that, just like Ethereum did, right? Where are you? There you are, right? Ethereum did nothing but drift through that time. Like what you're seeing, what we see with XRP is we see, oh, FOMO news. Oh, wait, we're back right down in here, right? It's just like what we did. But if we just continued what the market did, to what total market cap did, altcoin market, they all did these things in here. And then, but XRP got its own special little magical thing here. And then it came back and reviewed it and revisited it. But would it be suspect or unusual to pull down in here? No, it wouldn't. The big question, the magical question is this, right? Are we following along with the formula of the market of what XRP does? Which would indicate we're okay, right? But you could see it here too. What does it do? It's back testing the top of the range with this thing, right? So did we get carried away too far again from that range once again, right? And that's possible. So I'm not really interested in putting too much emphasis on what's going to happen on each in particular level, because I can make a case for tons of levels. I can make a case that, this was the breakout, which means we're going to pause right in here at about this little breakdown level right over here, which puts us at about 62, 61 cents. I could argue that we're going to come all the way back down to the top of the range in here. And I just don't have enough confidence in there to pick one and say this is what's going to happen. And there's lots of stalking people of my life that would love for me to do it. It's like, see, you don't know a thing. It just would be stupid for me. That's just how I view it. It'd be stupid of me to have significant conviction on where this thing is going to bounce at in here at this exact moment. I don't know. Once we got a clean setup and something solid happens, sure. But what did we watch for the last 3 months, right? We went through showing what completed crashes looked like, accumulation schematics look like. We were accumulating in here. Now it got out. Now it's back into retraces right in here. Now there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. So I'm just going to let the market kind of make some decisions here. And then we can go from there. If we go breaking through retracement levels, boom, we got a lot to talk about. Do we need to pull all the way back down to support levels, right? This would be a back test of the top of this Wyckoff accumulation range. And at the exact same time, it would be a back test of the whole range. So, this is possible. But at the same time, if you're following along and playing along with 2020, 2017, why am I not grabbing this thing? What's going on here? I don't know why this won't move. Maybe it has to be on the daily. There you go. And if you're following with 2020, you're good enough. So I'm going to let it breathe, man. rather than picking prices of where pull downs are going to happen, or are we going to struggle like the rest of the market is struggling here at April of 2022? There needs to be a little bit more to play out right now. A lot of euphoria came into the market right there, right? A lot. 4,500 people here in the chat on that day. That's excessive. When every day when people are like, the thing to always be worried about, right? And we keep seeing this, right? So to remember it, when people are posting every penny we move up, and they're posting it on Twitter, and every account out there is posting about every penny we're moving up, and then euphoria, and then piling into the live streams, those are markers of excessiveness. And then the same is true to the downside too. Remember that too. When we move to the downside, it's almost the same thing, where we have way more than usual people pile in, right? When prices are falling drastically and a liquidation happens or something like that, which is what we had with XRP. This is a liquidation of the whole market that took place back here, right? On days like that, when we see thousands of people pour in here, it means they've caught their attention. It means their fear has been riddled, right? So when their fear gets riddled, they pile in here. When their euphoria gets in excess, they pile in here too. So keep those things in mind too. So if there's some type of pullback, I think once we see like probably an excessive amount of people here in the stream, that means fear has hit its max, and that's a good sign. So, but there's several places this thing could go, and the cold hard reality is we got back into these retracement levels. If we want more, I mean, we just got to get more. I don't know how far. Remember what I call these things, right? And it's not me who came up with this term. This is a real term. They even just came out with a movie called Dumb Money, right? There's a reason it's called dumb money, because there's a lot of bad behaviors people do. But when we're in here, all throughout here, this is a range, right? And in a range, this is the dumb money area right here. In between these retracement levels, when we're above the 236 and we're below the 786, is the dumb money zone. Making price guesses on what's going to happen throughout here in a range. I know I'm doing this long enough. I know not to think that I'm going to know how this range is going to manifest itself. We can get back to like the real support level, the where there should be a monster support. Like there should be one here, or else there's big problems, is down here at about 55. Will we get down there that far? I have no clue, because we're in a range. But if we get through retracements, then it's like, okay, let's go. Let's start finding the next levels in here. But in here, we're in the middle of a range. We're in the middle of the fib levels, and this is the dumb money zone in between here and here, right? In between 83 and 55. This is all chaos. What you would want to see is if we went that low, 4,000 people pile into the live stream, excessive fear, panic, we're done, it's doomed, FTX news, whatever. Give us a news narrative, right, to go with it too, and some kind of liquidation happening in the market. If we got there, that would be a really positive sign, right? That would be just a slam down on top of the support, right? This is support area back here all throughout 2021. This was resistance area throughout here through all of 2022 and 2023. We have never, since back here, since January of 2022, successfully backtested this level, right? It just hasn't happened yet. So would it make sense that that is a backtesting level? Because we tried here, utter failure. We not only just went through it, we just went through it like butter. So to build a support on top of it, backtest it, and then wick off, sure, makes possible. But we're in the middle of a range, and even that structure doesn't give us that right there. Doesn't take us that low. So I'm kind of in a wait and see on XRP. I'm kind of not in a ready to predict. I mean, I'll show you all these things. I'll show you where the support level on top of the whole range, if you did not account for this 4-hour news candle, right, that comes back down and gets back into its range, which is amazing, because what happened, it's like the market priced it in, right? Was that the simulation at play? Was it the puppet masters at play? We get like the biggest liquidation since FTX, but XRP doesn't break out of the Wyckoff range, because we had already priced in, prepared for something of that magnitude to happen, right? So it's like that was spring, right? But spring got to happen from higher. So yeah, I'm in a wait game on XRP. I'm not in a predict kind of game with XRP right now. We're at the retraces, and that's what people always hate. They want it too. They constantly want to milk out of me, me to say something different about Bitcoin. For 2 years, we're going back to retracement levels. We're going back to retracement levels. Here's the areas that are the concern. If you do the Ethereum crash thing, 38,000 to 40,000 is that worry zone, right? If we get all the way up to 4.23, or if we get all the way up to a 702 retracement, it's like 50K, 52K. You know, the higher we get there and the closer we get there, the people who, you know, were worried, much more worried earlier, now are starting to flip over to bull. And now they are kind of like, well, I'm really FOMOing. I really want to get back in. Are you sure it's only a retrace? It's like, well, it's not my fault. If you sold down here and now you're wanting to buy here, you of course want to hear it's going higher. I mean, it's what anybody wants to hear, right? If you were waiting for 12K for a year and a half and suddenly we're now at 36, 37, 38K, you're wanting 12. I mean, that's just the reality. You want it. Like, what are you going to do now? It's 3 times higher than the price that you thought you were going to buy it at, and you sat on the sidelines the whole time, right? You were hoping to scoop up a ton of Bitcoin. Like if you had, which we don't, right? If you had $12,000, you were hoping you were going to get a whole Bitcoin. Now you're realizing I let this market completely get away from me, and I only get to buy 1/3 of the Bitcoin. Are you sure it's only going to go into retraces, BCB? No, I'm not sure. But this was the idea the whole time. Now we get back here, and just because we're getting back here, and FOMO is going to set in, euphoria is going to set in, excitement, insanity, craziness, irrational exuberance, degen, irresponsible, extremely risky behavior will set in, which will eventually lead to extreme losses. People want to hear it's going to go higher. So the content that was the bear for the last year and a half, get ready. They're going to start being bulls for you guys. They're going to start telling you what you want to hear. I told you bear for the whole time. Not here. We're losing subscribers here during all this, presenting insane amounts, going on to BitBoy's YouTube channel and disagree. You know, we're going to a retrace. No new all-time highs. That's the thoughts, right? No new all-time highs. And it'll stay that way. That's going to be the thought process. If we get to 52, I think that would be best case scenario. And then I'll take a break and wait on it. I don't know why I went on this rampage. Who sent me on this rampage? Nobody. I just went on it on my own. And we're at 56 minutes, so I have to hurry up. All right. Push you back. There you go. So that way I don't mess this up. Okay. I don't know how that happened. I need to go back and rewatch how I just went on that. Oh, it started with the XRP stuff. Guessing the XRP range. I don't know how we got the Bitcoin in that. JB Heavy Equipment, thank you, member 6 months. Thank you, brother. Bart, just for the love. Man, thank you, Bart. I appreciate the support, man. Smiley faces. Chris DeLeon, BCB, the quick fib helped. Follow up. Why use the fib high and low of 2017 versus 2021? That's probably where I'm having my confusion. Well, because it's one big range. It's one giant range. That the 2021 run up would have been just a retrace. Retrace within the same range. The range top is still 2018. So it's kind of like saying, why use this top instead of this one, right? Because that's what you would have over here. This is like this is like what 2022 and 2023 would have been for XRP, right? And it's like, say, well, why use this top rather than this top? And it's because the range, this is all just part of the one big range. This is just range action in here. Everything that has happened for XRP so far has just been ranging context. All of 2021, all of 2022, all of 2023, ranging context of the bigger range from 2017 and on, 2018. But thank you, Chris. Oscar Hernandez says, hit the like button. And don't forget to check out the merch and the best course at bcbacker.com. I'm supposed to do that at the beginning of the video. And here we are an hour later. Here you go. Yeah, bcbacker.com. Blockchainbacker.substack.com. Links are in the chat. If you want more content from me, enjoy. Thank you, Oscar. And then he gifted a BCB membership. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Irish Red Crypto. Hey, BCB, just wondering why you think ADA has a possibility of doing a 4.236 extension, but DOT doesn't. I didn't say DOT doesn't. I own DOT. Is it purely based on developer data or is it technical? Keep up the good work from Ireland. I don't think I said that about DOT. I own DOT. That's my target for DOT. I'm on that same page, brother. DOT has even swapped ADA right now for number one commits. So it's like a battle back and forth between DOT and ADA. No, I'm on your page, bro. We're good. Tsunami76. Hi. Any thoughts on HBAR? Well, they got good dev data. They have extremely high inflation, which is unfortunate. 50% inflation rate. That's very disappointing for an asset to have that. It massively impacts price. We go through that pretty much every week. Yeah, those are my thoughts. High dev data, terrible inflation. They print a lot of coins every year. They dilute the market cap with a lot of coins. Derek Daniels. First of all, I love you, brother, and God bless you. This may have been answered already, but what's your exit plan for alts besides XRP? Profits at retracements, new all-time highs, 4.236, different from each. Yeah, so like my original plan from 2020, no, 20, when did I record that? 2020, right? The summer of 2020, right? If it hits a 4.236 extension, out. If 65% out, and then if they don't hit targets, then selling on retracement of Bitcoin, regardless of where the altcoin is. So I'm taking profits at Bitcoin's retracement because it's been my plan for years on end. So nothing changes there. I'm definitely going to be taking money out of the market. The only way I would re-enter, and I'm not going full out. So like, make it very clear for those trolls who are watching right now, because I've got money in here that I've had. Some of you guys playing in your grandma's basement with $150, $200. We are not the same here, being in this market this long. I've got a lot of crypto. Just kidding. I only have 4 cryptos. Okay. What was I going to draw? I was going to draw something. I can't remember what I was going to draw. Kind of like when you walk into a room and you're like, hey, what am I doing here? Why am I standing in this room like blank? I know it happens to you. I don't know what I was going to draw. I don't know. We're done. Moving on. Maybe it'll come back to me. But yeah, profits will be pulled at retracement levels. But yeah, I mean, if we break out into new all-time highs, that's how I was going to do math, right? So here's crypto. All right, here's crypto. Here's a bull run. Here's peak. Here's 2022. Here's retracement. Like pretend we're like right around here, 2023, for Bitcoin, right? Pretend I have $10 here. Then I have $100 here. Then I have $20 here. But then I double down on my portfolio here. And now I actually have 40 here. And then now I rise back up. And I've reclaimed 70% of that. So that means this would be 80, but it's 80 times 2. And now I have like 160 here, right? Then I'm going to cut out 65%. Likely. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that, but that's the game plan. That's the game plan. 65%. So of that 160, that leaves me with 56 remaining, right? 56 remaining is willing to go back to all-time high, which then turns into like 90 or whatever by the time we get back to all-time high. And then if we get out, I will throw some money in here at stuff that I think looks awesome and bump that up to like 110 or 120. And then I will have pocketed a ton of money along the way, as you can see. But then I still have stuff to go flying to the upside. So I know that if I sell, it's going to be just like every time. When I sell, I get chastised by the trolls. When I buy, I get chastised by the trolls. When I sell, I will get chastised by the trolls. And especially if we go into new all-time highs, you know nothing, BCB. It's not true. I played the game. Played the game. That's how it goes. But yeah, at the retracements. Crypto Hero, hi. How do you do your calc max price on basis of market cap price? I mean, just a real simple way to do it. I mean, just if somebody knows a better way to do it, I'm all ears. But like, first of all, it's not important to me right now, like on what those prices are, just because we're nowhere near it, right? We're like nowhere close. But like, how far away is the market cap of XRP currently away from a 4.236 extension, right? Like currently right now, it's 1,420% based on the market cap. So if I go 1,420% from the current price we're at right now, it's like $9.80, right? Anybody knows a better way to do that? I'm sure you could have API plugins. You could do that stuff, and you could like automate it to do it for yourself. But that's a real easy way to do it. Go find the market cap, measure the percentage, and then do this. But the reality is, next month you got to do it again, because it's not going to be 1,420. The number is going to constantly change and is constantly due to inflation. And the only thing that can happen for XRP in regards to like a 4.236 extension is just continue this drift down. Right? $10 is no longer a 4.236 extension at all. It's just not. There's been too much time that's passed. Inflation over the course of the years. $10 would be above a 4.236 extension now. So that nice solid round number of 10, that's above a 4.236 extension of a market cap. So I will be 65% out of XRP before $10 now. Because there's been enough time with enough inflation for us to not be able to get there. Will we get there? Maybe. But that's not how my plan is. McDonald's versus Wendy's versus Burger King review video, please. Okay, so I went to KFC this weekend, and I have to apologize to Burger King people. I've always been a fan of KFC, and maybe it was just I had a series of bad employees. KFC, you're lower on the totem pole than Burger King now. You're done. You're done. It's over. KFC was way, way above Chick-fil-A. Way above Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is literally the worst fried chicken sandwich you can get anywhere. They've done such a good job marketing of like family wholesomeness that their food is super basic. There's a lot of good fried chicken sandwiches out there. But KFC, man, you dropped. KFC is below Popeyes, though. Well, yeah, Popeyes, dude, come on. If you can find a Popeyes, you have no choice. You have to stop and eat a chicken sandwich there. Okay, I gotta move on. McDonald's over Wendy's and Burger King. Thank you, the freakish fish. And Crypto Hero, I hope I got your question, brother. Wesley, 4 months. Please smash the like button and be the OG 702 crew support. BCB, it's free. Thank you for your chart analysis. That is truthful and not hype. It helps a lot. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wesley, appreciate it, man. 4 months. Joshua Ricotta, thoughts on Atom? I'm still holding from a few years back. Should I keep holding? Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's your own personal decision, brother. You got to do whatever you want to do. Do I hodl Atom? Did I buy a bunch of Atom at the bottom? I didn't own any Atom prior. Oh, this is a good example. I was going to show you. I'll show you guys this in a minute. I didn't own any Atom prior to here. And here I've got Atom. I got a lot of Atom. A lot of Cosmos. This is a good example of what I was talking about earlier. This is a 4,000% bull run in Atom in 2020 and 2021, littered with, when the bull run starts, a negative 80% crash. There's a negative 57% crash, negative 43%, negative 75% crash. Okay. For those who think you're going to make it to the promised land in a straight green line and not get rattled along the way, you will. You will get rattled nonstop. I've talked about climbing the wall of worry. I've talked about, in bull markets, retail investors get shook out on downward price action. In bear markets, retail investors are constantly buying the dip, right? Buy the dip, 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 buy the dip. Sell the dip, we're going lower. Sell, we're going lower. No, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. That's just normal retail behavior, right? And so when we're if you're expecting, I mean, look at Bitcoin right here. Negative 72 here. That's what we had in 2019, 2020. Just going through things. Negative 70. Look at Doge. I've shown this one many times. I mean, just how many times do we have to do this? Negative 75. Negative 68. Negative 60. Negative 50. So like even just in the upward trajectory, you had to, one, not be terrified of the bottom, because man, everything about the math matters. And I talk about this here, and it sounds so stupid. It sounds so basic. Percentage measurements matter over price. In my last one, it was called like percentages mean everything, prices do not. And people cannot wrap their head around that at all. Like if you're running and buying Bitcoin now, have you done the math? Have you done any math if you're buying Bitcoin now? No, my guarantee is you have not. You've done literally none. If you sat here waiting for 12K the whole time and then you've bought here, you did zero math at all. Because where are you going? You going to all-time high? You're going to go get 87%. You're going to go back to all-time high. Cool story. You're going to go through all-time high. You're going to go to 100K. You're going to make 174% with like the absolute smallest chance that you're going to 100K. You want to make 174%. I mean, dude, we're watching altcoins just go YOLO bombing right now. These types of percentages left and right every day. There's no way. There's no way. Even in that newsletter, we go through Bitcoin. Did you know Bitcoin in the top 20, like from December until peak of market, it was like the worst performer in the top 20? Literally the worst performer. It performed worse than Bitcoin SV. It's just our brains see the big green lines and like we see them and we think, this is majestic. This is magically beautiful. Undeniably huge. And then you go and you just do a little bit of math here and you say, wait a minute, that's 250, 260%. That's not much, man, not in this market. So what are you chasing here? Not a single Wall Street bet, diamond, laser-eyed, hander. Made anything. Just nothing. Like, and of course, if they piled in here, but even if they bought the breakout of the all-time high, they didn't make anything. So the point of what I'm getting at, because I always keep changing what I'm trying to make one big point, and so what I do is I bounce around on my big point. When I'm recording a video, I can do that. When I'm live, I can just go back and edit it and like continue my train of thought and re-listen to myself. But my point is like, this is a 4,000% rise. But like if you weren't buying in this dip, right? If you were fearful the whole time, then you waited for the price to get up to here, right? You waited it for it to get to there. What was the percentages from here? There's only 1/4 of that, right? $1,000 turns into $10,000 rather than $1,000 turning into $40,000. percentages mean everything in this game. And there's going to be dips. And when you sell the lows, you sell the bottoms looking for lows, it sacrifices everything. I don't know. There's going to be dips. That's my point. Okay. There's going to be crashes and there's going to be scary moments along the way. Thoughts on Atom though. But yeah, I own Atom. There you go. Should you keep hodling? I'm not going to answer that question. Right. What if it comes and slams back down into this trend? Can you handle that? If you can't, I don't know. I can handle. But if Atom got up here into those April prices, I'd take some off the table. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you to do that, but I am. SB, your message was retracted. I don't see what it was, brother, but thank you for the $1. I guess maybe it was I don't know. Thoughts on Atom? All right. Any thoughts on Stellar Lumens with 70% plus in developers? What is 70% plus in developers? You mean 64% year over year? I don't know about 70% plus. Maybe that's changed on their website. Maybe they updated that data. Yeah, but they only have 41, right? So is it good? Yeah, it's good. What's the problem with Stellar, price-wise? Just like we're talking about over there with Chainlink, look where Stellar gets to. They, of course, surge with the SEC pump. Where do they get to? April of 2022. It's like we're talking about over there with Chainlink, right, guys? You see it? There's the problem, right? So we've seen Bitcoin Cash do this. We've seen Stellar Lumens do this. We've seen Status do this. We've seen the list goes on. Anybody who's already gotten that big pump out of there, this is kind of where they're stopping at. So for those who are still eyeballing Chainlink, knowing that it's there, I've been an active seller, as you guys know, up here for Chainlink, which hurts. I can tell you, just I always kind of like to share the emotional experiences. This one is very difficult for me to do because I'm having to do this from a very technical perspective. I don't want to do it. The developer data on it is awesome. The social media engagement on Chainlink is awesome. It has a lot going on for it. So that part of my brain that's like the fundamental analyst of it says, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But the technical side of me says, you are a dummy if you don't do it. And so I'm having to do it. And I'll share that with you right now. It doesn't feel good. I don't like doing this right here. It does not feel good that I'm doing that because I actually want this to be a long-term bag and I want to hold it, as much of it as I possibly can. But I have to pay attention to what the rest of the market has been doing. And so I've had to sell here. And hopefully it gives me an opportunity to double my bag down here. So we'll see. Otherwise, obviously, you guys know it. I just locked in a nice 2-3xer. So, but as for Stellar Lumens with developer data, I just showed you the challenge. Of Stellar Lumens is like it's already been here and it's already come back here, right? So I like to see Stellar Lumens there and then back to the Wyckoff range breakout, right? So that level for Chainlink, if it did that, which again, like the thing about the market right now is that when Stellar went and did this, when XRP went and did this, when Bitcoin Cash went and did this, and they got here, we didn't have the strength in the market, right? We didn't have the upward price action happening over here in the market. So like just the market just in general didn't have the strength to go do something like this at this time, right? We know that. So there is more strength in the market. And so I'm sitting here watching Chainlink like a hawk as it's back here. But even like stuff right now, right? There's Status. Right? Status, same place, pullback, right? Will this pullback be short-lived for Status? Maybe. Maybe. Bitcoin Cash. Right there, right? So keep your eyes on that stuff. And I know I keep bringing up Chainlink just because it's right there right now. I think even 0x is there right now, right? You're in the April of 2022. May, this is May, so April a little bit higher in here. But same zone, right? Here's those lows that are set there in February. You got one in there. But that's kind of the thing that we keep seeing, right? Nobody's getting out. So like if you look over here, like we can kind of like look at an example over here of like what 2020, 2021 was like, right? It's like we got back up in here finally off the lows, right? It just like surged up here off the lows. It's kind of like that right there. And then we, what do? We pull back down into these zones, waffle around in here, right? Waffle around. And then finally it ends up going, right? But it doesn't get through on the first attempt to get through, but it does pull back on top of these Wyckoff levels and build a support on top of here, right? Which is what you are seeing over here on Bitcoin Cash. So you imagine if Bitcoin Cash ends up being like a GameStop scenario? I'm not predicting it well, but oh boy, that would be some vindication for that one. So, all right, but that's the problem everybody's having, right? So I think the thing we'll start like on here on my channel. So me showing you these things and showing you these resistance levels and struggles, and see like right here, right? So this is the struggle level. This is the struggle level, right? Then eventually it finally ends up getting through there at some point, right? And that's just how a lot of the market is. But if we start seeing things start to break through here, and I know we have a couple right now, but the charts are wonky, like Tron and stuff. But like if we see these ones that have struggled here, like Bitcoin Cash suddenly break through, or if we see 0x suddenly break through, or Chainlink suddenly break through, might be eyeing and saying, look, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. This market might be stronger. But as of right now, just for me, it's a little bit of caution while we're there for this. But again, a lot of stuff is lagging behind. It's nowhere close. And that's where kind of like my eyes are on, and a lot of my capitals and that stuff. Like Adam, your question earlier, right? It's still to get into those April levels. It has quite a ways to go, for it to whip its way up that high. Anywhere from 20 to $30. Still a little ways to go. So, okay, I gotta keep going because I'm way past an hour. Rock Kofo, thanks for everything, BCB. Any thoughts on Sologenic? It's built on the XRP ledger. If not, totally cool. Thanks again, man. I've commented on that. I've thought that token was a scam. It was an airdrop for the XRP community. Then they went out and created another token, and they hired a bunch of XRP influencers to try to pump that token, and that token crumbled too. I'm just not interested in anything Sologenic. SB again? Yeah, see, okay, Joshua Ricotta. Dang, you're insulting the Lord's chicken. Not financial advice, of course. Thanks for the response. Chick-fil-A, right? So I gave Chick-fil-A a hard time. First of all, you all should know that I am a Christian. I do attend church. Do believe in God. I have been saved. I've hit rock bottom in my entire life, and belief in God is one of those things that did help me get out of that. Now I'm going to talk trash about Chick-fil-A, and that it's part of their marketing gimmick. Of course, we all know they're closed on Sundays, right? Because it's great marketing. We're a Christian corporate conglomerate. And, it's just marketing is all it is. And it's beautiful marketing, right? And so I want to give money to this corporation because they're utilizing Jesus Christ in this one. But the food is super basic. That is real life. The only thing Chick-fil-A has going for it that beats everybody else is their little teeny tiny little breakfast things that they have, where they put like a chicken nugget and some like ciabatta bread that has like honey and butter on it. Go get that for breakfast. That'll change your life. Chick-fil-A, you rock. You got it. No doubt. No doubt Chick-fil-A wins breakfast world for sure. Outside of that, a sandwich and some waffle fries, whatever. Okay. Tino, thoughts on AVAX? Good dev data and lots of upside towards April 2022 prices. So I think when I checked them, their inflation was high, though. That was the thing. Let me check AVAX. How was your Avalanche? Medium inflation. Okay. Medium inflation. Down year over year on dev data. Down 34% year over year on total devs. But they have been improving in the last few months. Now I know they were trying to make like a friend tech thing. So sometimes you got to pay attention to that on short-term stuff. Is this actually just due to something going on, right? They're trying to make something to compete with friend tech, which I think failed. I haven't heard anything about it since. But they're down 34% total devs year over year. They're down 34% full-time devs year over year. And nothing crazy about dev data, like screaming, still strong, right? Down 31%. This is cool. This stuff's been like updated since I pulled all of this. I need to re-pull the data. It has changed. That's good. But yeah, commits, right? In decline. It's done well. Don't get me wrong. It's done very well. And maybe it has the hype and energy to do something good, but I don't see it in the dev data. And they have a total of 111 full-time devs last time I pulled the report, which is not small. That puts them like, somebody asked me about Axe Infinity. They were in the bottom 10%, whereas Avalanche is almost in the top 10, a little bit shy of being in the top 10 for full-time devs. So it's there. But again, like, so the challenge with that, if you're even going to try to read the devs and like read them growing and declining, our best example to look at is EOS from 2018, 19, and 20. EOS was number 3, right? You had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you had Ethereum, then you had Bitcoin, then you had EOS. Or it was the other way around. It was Ethereum, EOS, and then Bitcoin. So it was like top dog. But it was that declining developer data, rapidly declining developer data, that was the bad sign. There's just like non-existent developer data on this Axie Infinity thing. Avalanche, it's in the decline. The challenge is the whole market is. The whole market is in decline. Like, this is their data, but so is the whole market. But this is also a little bit more than what the market is. But the thing is, they're in the top, maybe number 11 or number 12 in regards to total developers, but it's in the decline. So that's a tough one. I'm just going to put it on here. And then we're going to get through the last of these guys, and we're going to get this show on the road. Thank you very much. Where do you see Chainlink bottoming with a correction? Well, hopefully back to the peak of the range of where it just broke out from. Thank you, SB. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships. Andy, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. 702. Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress. It's been a while. The Fed was still issuing credit notes when the money was metal-based. Metal money always gets debased and stolen if there's a tax-driven money demand. Taxes on private currencies is the real problem. Okay. I went a little bit over my head. The Fed was still issuing credit notes when the money was metal-based. Okay. Right. There was more notes in circulation, which is true. Right? There's more notes in circulation than there was actual metal backing it up. Metal money always gets debased or stolen if there is a tax-driven money demand. Taxes on private currencies is the real problem. Okay. Thank you so much, Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress. Every time Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress comes in here, you can tell that Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress does not wait tables. Thank you. AF11. Hey, BCB, you read before in the news, Pfizer looking into weight loss. Well, you heard me immediately skip it after that. Have you ever heard of Eli Lilly? And if possible, could you do a quick check on their chart? No, I don't want to cover any. I skipped that because I don't want to get into that. It was, I see the headlines, I read the headlines. Look, anytime there's anything on like Trump or Biden, or if there's anything on vaccines, or if there's anything like on Israel, you guys always see it. I try to skip through it as quick as I can. Like, look, we're just going to get past this. We're not going to highlight that stuff. I don't know what that is. If it's related to weight loss drugs and all that stuff, I don't know. Man. I'm not gonna, I got 2,000 people in here. I'm not going to pull. I'm sorry. I can't pull up a weight loss drug chart. And thank you very much for your support, though, AF11. Number 1, XRP, Brandon. Thoughts on Theta or Filecoin? I don't follow Theta to know. I don't see Theta pull up in the top dev data Filecoin does for like total commits. Problem with Filecoin is definitely having to go based on the market cap chart. Their inflation rate has improved. It's very critical of their inflation rate for the past year because it's been near 100%. It has improved recently. I think it's down to closer to 20 or maybe 10, something like that. It's not that crazy 90, but really paying attention to the market cap of Filecoin. But I don't follow Theta. I'm sorry. No, but thank you. Dr. Ty 168 says, fun fact, it is written in the Chick-fil-A founder's will to never open on Sunday. Yeah. Because if Chick-fil-A was open on Sundays, nobody would go there. Like, I mean, when you pull up to a Chick-fil-A, you're like, man, this is a wholesome company. And like those employees, I don't know about your Chick-fil-A's near you. I think they like probably do a really good job hiring at Chick-fil-A, or they like totally instill those beliefs and those that system into their employees, because the employees are fantastic at Chick-fil-A. You notice that too? They are so nice. So I mean, I get it, man. Like branding, service, they kill it. The fire, or the fire. Looking at something. The chicken sandwich is super basic. Parzival FXE. I'm gonna open a fried chicken food truck, open only on Sundays, and call it Side Chick, and park it next to Chick-fil-A. Bro, you're a millionaire. All right, go open up a GoFundMe. We'll get you going. The Bearable Bull. Look at that. Bearable Bull comes in, drops a hundo bomb. Thank you for all the work you've done with the community backer. Gift a few memberships to some people, or however this works. It doesn't work like that. Bearable Bull, my man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, dude. BCB is delusional on this subject. Bearable Bull, my man. Thank you very much. Very generous of you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you haven't seen it, I've been on the Bearable Bulls YouTube channel. Did like a 2.5 hour live stream. I always end up like falling apart after an hour. So it's like when we keep these closer to an hour. But things have been so busy lately. It's back in those days again, where we're back over an hour here. And I lie at the beginning of every live stream and say, hey, we're only going to go 1 hour. But I go way longer than that because you guys have so many things to say because the markets are really busy. But during like Doomtown, we're all going to die scenarios, it's real slow and I can like keep it in an hour. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. And thank you for the super chats. And every one of you matters. And if you were gifted a membership, thank the person who did. That's always real cool that our community does do that. You stay here longer because you love us. I do. You guys are very kind to me. This is my safe space. Twitter is not my safe space. This is. So, Alan Homer. So, I would answer, but you spammed it. So, not happening, buddy. All right, you guys. Thank you all so much. Markets look like they're improving based on what happened with the stock market opening. Let's take a look back at the stock market really quick. DXY has turned down a little bit, 105.72. We have more green over here in stocks. Dow Jones only down 2 points. S&P down 8 points. NASDAQ down 48 points. A little bit of improvement over there. Looks like a little bit of a move back up a little bit over here in gold and silver as well, with the DXY turning down a little bit. So hopefully things turn back around. We were looking over there at total 3 being a back test day. Looks like total 3 improving a little bit here. We'll see if we green it out or if we just kind of stay here to like visually leave that red back test on the screen. Wouldn't be surprised. But of course, like I said, we've been spoiled in here. There's multiple waves in here with no real big corrections happening at this point. Ethereum looks like it's getting a decent little pop up this morning. This is what we were watching earlier today. There moves F slightly here in just the last 30 minutes or so. I guess I missed it because I like to ramble. Otherwise, market looks okay. Nothing crazy in here. The main things I'm just watching are those ones that are kind of getting away, like your Solanas and your chain links that have gotten up there pretty good. So keeping an eye on those levels. Where's Solana? I thought I saw Solana pulled back. Yeah. So Solana, there you go. But, all is well in the universe right now. The day it all goes to heck, we'll be here for it. But otherwise, enjoy the moment that you're living in. As you all know, these moments don't last forever. When we get these green time periods, they're really exciting. They're really fun. And they typically end with a whole lot of euphoria and a whole lot of excitement of we're never going down ever again. I don't think we're in that moment right now. But, we go through 90% of the time in complete torture in this market, in complete crud. And then eventually there's that 10% period where things are really exciting. And I explained that when we were at the peak of the market in 2021, that, hey, look, normally we're not all friendly with each other like this. Normally we're all bickering at each other and hating on each other. That's how most of the time in the crypto market is spent. But we're kind of in one of those moments where like emotions are starting to kind of turn that page and just live in the moment, man. Appreciate the moment that you're in it. Tough times will always come back, but good times always come too. I don't know if we're in the moment where we're all holding hands and singing Kumbaya just yet. But it feels like we're all kind of starting to meet around the campfire and we're thinking about it. We're looking at each other's hands like, hey, I'm cool with it if you're cool with it. Not yet, but maybe eventually. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support. And I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and a nice Veterans Day for those veterans who serve our country and have served our country in the past. Thank you very much for your service. I'm just a dingus here on the internet talking and rambling in my mouth for an hour and a half past what I'm supposed to be doing. All right, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out my newsletter over there, blockchainbacker.substack.com. Premium newsletter, over 30 minutes, audio recording included in there, talking about developer data and those altcoins. Then take a look over here at bcbacker.com for a course that I put together. Over 40 videos, over 11 hours of content in here. Deep dive in the history of the crypto market and all types of extra things that I've learned along the way that are really important to know. Includes downloadable PDFs in here for you. $39 one time. This one has no subscriptions in here, no recurring fees. You buy it, you have access to all of those. This one is a subscription over here on the newsletter. There's something new published on here twice every month. This last one at 30 minutes, that's a long one. Typically expect like 12 to 18 minutes. It's about normal. Otherwise, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. Check out the newsletter. Check out bcbacker.com. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.